So with François Millet, and we first started working together back in 2004 at Domaine de Vaugué in Chambol. And now with François and his own personal family project, François Millet et Fils, with his two sons, producing some beautiful wines. We've just finished tasting the 2023s out of cask, which have been quite lovely. But François, tell us a little bit about 23 as a vintage.
Well, 23 has this beautiful harmony between the creamy fruits, and there's a structure about the vintage without being too powerful, and also playing with minerality, freshness. Quite a complete vintage. And although the season was relatively hot, I think that's a terroir-driven vintage also, which is, of course, for us, very important. Floral too. So it's a vintage playing with everything at the same time, and with a beautiful harmony and a potential. There's a nice potential.
And what was the biggest surprise for you in 23?
I think the surprise, we are very cautious with our suppliers. Well, we buy grapes here and must. We have also vineyards in the Jura. I think the surprise, as long as the yields are really controlled, the surprise is to see that it's a very high quality vintage with, I would say, a yield of not too much, but that could be the fright. Of course, if the yields are very important, you can't cheat. So the wines can be very diluted and very uninteresting, of course. So the surprise is, it's always the surprise when you have a heat event during the seasons, which is more and more often. The good surprise is to see that it's terroir driven. So that has not affected the precision of the wines. So that's good.
Because quite often, and we've seen it many times before together, the weather pattern, the climate imposes itself on the vineyard, and here it doesn't seem to have done so. The vineyard seems to have come out.
Yes, well, I think that it's also a question of approach. Because when you have these vintages with a low amount of juice due to the weather conditions, you have to be very cautious because the skin to liquid ratio is really increasing. And in that case, if you are too pushy, then the wines can be very tough and out and really not showing the place and not terroir driven anymore. So it's very, very important.
And I think one of the things that you did was you handled each tiny little microcuve delicately.
Yes, absolutely. The concept, which is it's a personal concept, it's the fact that we believe that the land has either a mineral energy or a structural energy. Sometimes it can be both at the same time. But if you have a mineral energy from the place, from the land, from the terroir, be very cautious. Because this minerality is really propelling the terroir. In that case, we are very cautious. We are doing just pump overs. Buckets over, because we don't use any pump. To be sure not to offend the place and to let really the place like it is. On the other hand, if you have a place which is giving you structural wines, positively structural wines, in that case, we have a contact. To have a feedback from the place, to have a response, and to optimize the terroir. Because it's always a shame when you're above the line. That's the line you must never cross. But it's a pity to be below. So actually, we believe in the fact that the terroir are people, persons, mineral persons, a bit more introvert, and structural persons which really like contact, more extroverted.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Your descriptions are perfect. François, thank you.
You're welcome.